Oh, hey there. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy to be here with you. My name is MJ. I'm the founder of Ultra Love, broadcasting in your airwaves since 2012. I started working on the online biz. 2013 is the first rendition of my website. 2012, 2013, I started blogging. 2019, I started reading tarot, and I've been teaching yoga and meditation professionally since 2008. Let's do a little live reading for my lovers. My lovers. What a journey. What a journey. Who would have thunk it? Like, what is this human life experience? A few little tidbits that I've been observing in the internet land, mainly TikTok and YouTube, but there's this quote that I think my mother or somebody at some point come to me with this quote about. So there's this idea of a Jungian idea in different psychological, where when we've been oppressed, we can easily become the oppressor. But there's another one that I have in my awareness, is that the oppressed knows their oppressor better than the oppressor knows themselves. And I'll be straight with you guys, okay? And this is a generalization, but based on our patriarchal historical context, women have been oppressed across the board. Women have been denied, controlled, both violently, financially. And one thing I'm aware of is the turning of the tides and the feminine within us all, because depending on where you're looking at it, you know, our race and our class, all of these things kind of can put us in a victimized and oppressed position in an enslavement system, especially now with the fascism. That's just boom, lots of tyrannical oligarch dictatorships rising. So any of us with that kind of more awakened awareness are being ushered into more like grounded integrity, right? Of money don't save us, and the color of our skin don't save us, and our gender don't save us. And yet the oppressed knows their oppressor better than the oppressor knows themselves. So in a very broad sense, more women are awakening into their power, knowing their oppressor. And I mean, this is a big shift in our world. And we can get wrapped up in the fear. We can get wrapped up in any and all, really, of the media manipulation, vibration, propagated fear-mongering. Yes, okay, as a collective, as a world, whether we're studying it in history books, whether it's here now, when have we not been warring each other and fighting and battling? You know, it's part of our historical framework. I mean, the very few, you know, a small handful of matriarchal societies, they're not warring, they're not violent. But here we are. And again, from a deeper spiritual truth, the warring, the chasing of wealth, the praising of wealth, the thinking that money sets us free, or any of the delusions of grandiosity, and or just running away from ourselves, thinking that these external things are going to save us, it's not the truth, you know? And yet, I think any of us sometimes could get hooked into it. And again, the ideation of the working harder gets us ahead, or just the lies we've been sold, individually, collectively, based on our historical framework and our family lineage. And that's why we're in a great spiritual awakening, a paradigm shift where all of us are having a lot of shift. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Where do you join from? Well, okay, yes, work smarter for sure. I would put it in that piece of working in alignment, working en flow, working from the heart, even brain heart coherence, how to establish a greater well being. And I would say, as we continue to motion forward as a collective, our well being, our personal well being, and how to harmonize and how to achieve greater well being. And that's a very unique autonomous thing, and something that we can share with one another and navigate. I'm learning more about Chinese medicine. I spent a long time studying Ayurveda, yoga practices, and meditation. All of these things that help us sensitize to our physical bodies so that we can listen to the infinite intelligence of the body. And then unpack, deprogram our ancestral programming, because the large majority of humanity, yeah, I would say like possibly everyone, are carrying programs and distortions and or trauma from our lineage, whether it's based in class, whether it's based in our uh just what we inherit from our parents cellularly, right? In the DNA. But what we're learning, of course, is that all of that can be purged, cleansed, deprogrammed through emotional alchemy, movement, establishing different lifestyle patterns that we haven't inherited, right? I propagate not watching TV, not watching too much media, being more discerning with the amount of electronics and media that we're engaged with, being ever so mindful of being sold an illusion, as in the false gurus and the false teachers who are saying, do this and then you'll have this, or follow the 21 program and then it would lead to liberation. Meh. I think a lot of silence and self-reflection and just life experience. We can have peaks and troughs. We can, yes, on a certain level, spiritual awakening can bring us a lot of like, wow. But then there's this weird egoic trip up where we think we know. I've been there. Check back to 2017, 18. There's probably a lot of razzmatazz in my high vibratory thinking I knew something. I don't listen to me, you guys. I'm a human like everybody else, navigating her journey. But what I'm aware of is how we so easily can be judged and put down, and that people don't, they want, so we truly are attracted to an essential, to something deep within us all. But based on our programming, we don't necessarily appreciate it or think it is what it is. And that's something I'm aware of, is that people want to listen to what their programming dictates. So in a patriarchal structure, we might listen to people in power, people with money, men more than women. And yet the more we shift and turn our tides, and the more we embrace a deeper healing from within self, the more we'll be open to learning and listening to all genders, all classes, just listening, you know? Um, and going beyond people's appearances, going beyond the color of their skin, their gender, and listening from the heart. That's a dialogue, right? That's actual conscious debate. See, so that's a really good question. Would you describe yourself as more of a spiritualist instead of a religious? Neither. I'll reflect to you or share with you that over the course of my life, because I've been drawn to yoga and I've practiced and taught lots of yoga, other people usually project onto me that I'm spiritual. But I've always found it interesting because I'm like, oh, interesting. That's their perception. Because I'm just MJ. I'm just a human being that's had my own journey. And only in retrospect do I look back and I can see certain times of my life, like 20 plus years ago, I had what I could call now spiritual awakenings. But I didn't know when I was 19 years old that I was having spiritual awakenings. It was just my life. It was just insights and experiences that led me to make certain choices. As in, I renounced materiality. I, at 19, essentially told my mother and family to just get rid of everything I had, and I had a backpack, and I went to a different country. And I wandered around, and I journaled, and I philosophized, and I had insights, and then I endeavored to go back to university and dang near killed myself because it wasn't in alignment. It wasn't part of my truth, but I wanted to stay in the country where I was. So, and then I only lasted like a year before yoga returned into my life. And I was like, oh my God, hello yoga. I knew intuitively I needed to study and practice this thing. And yet even within that framework, I still have my own interpretation of yoga and yogic philosophy. I don't propagate or align with like a certain tradition necessarily, but I still have reverence for all the people who have come before and all the teachers who have come before, and I'm aware that this world calls yoga people spiritual. But at the end of the day, we're all just like navigating our personal lives, right? Like right here, right now. And like we have Shazam shit to deal with as humans. And my ish, I think, with a lot of like terms of phrase and being like unspiritual, it's like we can get just like this idea of like identifying, getting wrapped up in the amount of money we have, getting wrapped up in the status we hold, or trying to be importante in this world. It's the same in like any world, and like especially in our consumerist capitalist society, because we all need money to survive. What I recognize is how egotistical, like we can have really gross, shadowy, dark, egoic blah blah in spiritual circles, in political circles, and we can have wonderful, expressive, generous of heart in business, in political, in we're just these humans being like, what is life? And most of us, I think, trying to survive, and doing, from my perspective, increasingly as a 40 something woman, it's like I just honor, respect living in my integrity. And I have a lot of like emotional awareness because I've done a lot of shadow work. I've penetrated down to the darkest depths of my own beingness and healed a lot of my ancestral wounding, endeavoring to heal my lineage. And the more that stabilizes. And so what I'm recognizing is that either the triggers are moving quicker and or not getting triggered by certain things, no longer attached to certain programmed constructs around relationships, around money, around whatever I once thought I was supposed to be, and just flowing. I am blessed with regards to that. Integrity has come through discipline, and the discipline has reaped a certain reward. So through just daily and consistent yogic practice, and I guess you could say maybe some benevolent good luck and intention, I have amazing online clients. I intended to work online many years ago, and now I work online. Most of that is through yoga clients who are pure referrals, doing good work with one person that said, hey, why don't you check out MJ, and then work with those people, like it's pure referrals. So that enables me the freedom, which was always like a thing, because back in the Dizzy, way back in the early 2000s, when I did work for people in shift work, my deep in my soul, just like I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep drinking alcohol, I deep in my soul knew that I wasn't like going to be cut out for like the modern working paradigm, working 40 hours a week or blah blah. So harnessing a craft and becoming skillful at something, yoga, and now tarot, and a healing modality called EFT, you can just the way the world is, charge a bit more for and work a little less. I don't, but I'm not a materialistic person. I'm not driven by having stuff. In fact, I'm based in our consumerist capitalist society and how we're over consuming and polluting our oceans and our landfills. And if anything, I propagate buying less, consuming less, and having less. Like, I think when your heart is full and you feel satisfied creatively, and you have enough, because I'm not a social butterfly, but you have enough good people around you who love you and support you, you don't need stuff so much. And that's something, although I've been buying only secondhand since about 2012, and throughout my even adolescence, but not always. So, but the more conscious I become, I only like buy secondhand stuff on eBay or charity, or like sometimes just get gifted stuff and what have you. But I was really working on really just not even buying anything else anymore. Like, I've got a good little stockpile of clothing and just seeing how far I can go without purchasing any new things. But then I put a bid on like a cardigan sweater. It's only March, and I bought a top and a thing. So it's like, it shows, like, even with conscious effort, gee whizzicles, these consumerist patterns, what's it like, retail therapy. My parents are boomers. There's a lot of like, you gotta have the stuff, you gotta buy the things. That's that keeping up with the Joneses or whatever. And like, I consciously don't even buy into that, but I still like to like have some nice things, right? But that's part of sharing with you guys, like, a minimalist, non-capitalist approach is just buying secondhand. Stop fueling the shitty corporations that are the reason we get cheap stuff is through enslavement of other humans. And it's like that expression, none of us are free while some of us are oppressed. That's always been my empathic understanding and heart center, is like not abiding by this, like those sad people over there. So I have traveled fairly extensively and can recognize that some of the poorest people in the world are truly the wealthiest through their generosity of heart. Having people who live in what we would deem as shacks with the 3 kids sleeping on the floor and mom and dad, but they live off the land. And these are some tropical places I'm thinking of. So like the fruit is just a holla shazam, they have their cows. I don't eat meat, but like they have their cows and their chickens. They have some juicy, delicious coffee. And I've had the grace of meeting people like that all over the world that in truth have been more generous of spirit than these so-called like wealthy countries that we have all this stuff, but we're like limited. We're not connected. We're disconnected. We're fighting and worrying who has more, who's stuff. We worship idols. We worship these people in power that don't give a shazam about the well-being of self, the well-being of planet Earth, our home that we all share. We're increasingly pinching off. It's just, hola. It's gonna keep getting worse until there's that critical mass shift, and that could be hundreds of years still. I don't know. Do you know? Do you know the future? Let's pull some cards on it. Why not? These are just fun. These are for fun and entertainment. I endeavor, right, to not place too much power on these tools that can just be an aspect of our experience. Hey, oh, what? I go live intuitively. I intend as a new theme. I'm going to be going live for the lunation cycle. So usually within a few days, right? Ideally, just beforehand, I'll go live. We've got an eclipse season. Fun times. We have an eclipse season this month on the 14th, 15th. So I'll probably go live maybe 12th, 13th, maybe 14th. I'm going to an ecstatic rave, like sober dancing, rave, and rave. That should be fun. And so eclipses 14th, 15th, and then right at the end of the month, I guess that would be a solar eclipse at the end of the month, which would wrap up the transiting nodes through the Aries Libra axis. So we're looking back on, you know, I would say even last September or perhaps September 2023. We'll be looking back at those cycles of completion. I have nerded out on astrology, right? I think it's a fascinating tool of self-learning. Ancient, right? The way we're all wrapped up in this infinite cosmos, and how, you know, if you think of the kind of magnetic pull of Earth station vibration and how she's like being orbited and orbiting these different celestial bodies, magnetism. Why wouldn't we all kind of be a part of that? If we're her little earthlings that are living here, then we're also electromagnetic. Why wouldn't we also be affected by her brothers and sisters out there in the cosmos, right? So astrology, like tarot, like reading books, like just life gnosis, just having life experience, teaches us. It's, to me, go back, fundamental teachings is to know thyself, right? So the knowing of the self is sort of like the prime time, thine is the kingdom. Hala. What's that on your necklace? I don't know, my lover. It's a really it's a wonderlust. There's a local gal, and she has this pretty cool, lovely brand. I have not heard of cosmology. I've heard of like oh Shazam, I just realized I have a session like 15 minutes. I have heard of numerology. And I've, like so many of us on this sort of seeker or whatever, whatever, what do you want from me? What is this like? I remember Enneagram, and, I dabbled with the human design, but as a woman, I find like, I'm finding just like listening and relating to other humans. And right now I'm on a bit of a wave I've had a recent experience with my family that really reflected to me like more of the psychic connections of especially people I think close to us, and like telepathic communication and like being in tune with people, but like not consciously aware that you're like super in tune with people. And so part of me is shifting into, okay, yes, astrology and this lots of kind of spiritual teachers, but more recently I'm going into these sort of feminine wisdom teachings, and I forget her name. She does like Venetian goddess teachings, or like goddess Kabbalah, or simply because there's, a lot long-standing historical context, female wisdom and feminine teachings has been sort of shamed and denied. Like, you're gross, you bleed, you're a whore. it's not funny, but you know, the witch hunts and then blah blah, and then patriarchy and women not being allowed to have money or power and just totally shamed and denied and like pitted against each other, and you know, more women being like, ah, that's horrible, shazam, we don't want that, you know, we want to love, we want to purify, we want to heal. And you know, before all of that brutality happened, women would have been the healers and obviously the life givers, and still are the life givers, and more accepting of all people and all genders and all classes, and like being able to work together for the same matriarchal, right, community. Like, hi. So I might, like, me too. And that's part of like interwoven quantum connectivity, is like things are happening within me which are activating certain things, which are then being reflected in my reality, that other women are also like being activated, you could say, because I've always had such deep, profound empathy and compassion for all people, and just not understood the violence and injustice of this world. I mean, like, what the fuck is going on? For a while, I was in my own little like spiritual love light bubble, but then I had a huge crash and fall, because again, it was like ripping apart my kind of spiritual ego, and now I don't know anything, but I'm here. I'm here for it. Nikolai, the author of Philosophy of the Common Task. Interesting. Hi. Hello. Divine guidance, love and clarity. Let's do a little card pull for you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate you. If you've enjoyed me sharing, then feel free to like and subscribe. It's, you know, it really helps. I've been working on this brand for a really, really long time. And I'll be here probably for the rest of my life. Maybe doing other bits as well. I really want to garden more. I want to make a garden and learn how to grow food, and I want to bring people together for dancing and celebrating, like ideally for nothing. And you know, I want to be able to provide homes and safe places for people, and all the dreams, all the love for everybody. You know, that's the point of working through all the Shazam. So, you know, it's not about me having stuff or power or control. It's just simply sharing what we can when we can. I've had to learn a lot along the way. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Divine guidance and hello. Sad face. No. Wipe those tears off your face, my lover. Divine guidance and loving clarity. What are the message? What are the messages? Ace of Cups, Sun reverse. Why is Sun reverse? There's something, there's a bit of sadness here. This could be things not working out, like Venus retrograde. This could be stuff not working out, or like people having to lay something down. Ace of Cups, no renewal, no new beginning in love. This could be upsetting for some of you behind the scenes. There's a fair bit of conflict, emotional pain. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Why is the Sun reversed? Divine guidance and loving clarity. Hey, thanks, Simtex. Appreciate. Holla Shazam. Thank you. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Oh, this could be a loss of some finances or not. Hold, wait. For some reason, this message is coming through a lot of the readings. Hold, wait. Like, it's not now. Steady, steady. This could be either people we're working with, people we're working for, certain direction. So cup of love, whether it's in relation to love dynamic or work dynamics, Venus is usually going to be looking at our values, which has a lot of connection to self-worth, and our love, our relationship, which is also that kind of connection. So it's almost like a direction we were going in. There's a Five of Cups. There's something, there's a loss. There's a no new beginning. There's like, why it's not as powerful as what we thought, or it's an illusion. It's not what we thought it was. We've got to lay it down, or we are laying it down, have been laying it down. The Wheel of Fortune upright. Fear it not, my loves. The Wheel of Fortune. Empress. Okay, whoa. Hey, this is a growth spurt, okay? Sometimes I know it's annoying, isn't it? Man, like, the growth spurt, divine, miraculous manifestations come often through losses, things not going our way. But usually we got to get really real with ourselves, okay? As in, we have to do these intrinsic, deep, and profound changes from within self, possibly letting go of addictions, making a decision here. Like, okay, making a decision, lay it down, let it go, put it to rest, or not. So this is initiating a new beginning, a new perspective. Maybe one that's less emotional or something. Truth. Ooh, nice. I like that card, Abu. This could be confrontation. This could be maybe be part of that decision orientation, confronting the truth of our own nature, confronting the truth of where we're not being honest with ourselves, right? I would say too, pranayama reverse. Some of us are we want to be anchored in our spiritual practices, our self-care practices. That's part of that feminine principle coming through the collective. Why is it important? Because at the end of the day, money ain't gonna save us, but we can save ourselves through our own central divination, through knowing ourselves, through, and what the hell does that mean? Just by feeling and connecting and being like, I enjoy this, I like those people. And it's through our relationships, often is the case, that we learn the most about ourselves. Crux or what's the kind of expression? It's kind of on the tip of my tongue. But we only really start the regenesis of true learning of self when we stop blaming and attacking other people for how we feel. And that's my kind of spiritual awareness of things. And it's in the book that I wrote many years ago. The way we come into alchemical healing and profound shape-shifting of self and thus our reality and our perspective is by owning it. Owning everything you do and all that you are and all the experience as self-created, as one with God, as one with the divine, right? And then owning and transforming, well, usually the shitty shits, right? The painful stuff. Oh, they didn't do that, or they're this, or, well, but why are we the one being engaged with it? And it's usually through emotional alchemy, as in feeling deep, painful. Yep, that's shadow work. I call them emotional storms, and or clearing the karmic backlog, which is also part of our generational trauma collectively as slaves to the so-called matrix, right? Which is the illusion, the Maya. Divine guidance, loving clarity from our lover supreme. Burrito supreme, yeah. Okay, so outsider and 5 of Cups. So that's what I'm talking about. Most of our healing has to come through recognizing that we have early childhood experiences that almost kind of lay down the path of the types of relationships we attract, the lives that we live, the habits and patterns we implement. And again, there's okay, so this is where I'm like, wait, don't act, don't move, don't do too much, just sit with yourself and heal. Wait for the sun and truth to shine through you rather than kind of grasping to start these new projects or send these messages or purge and heal and reflect, because the Wheel of Fortune is like out of our control. The truth shall set us free, not doing more stuff. The truth, the deep knowing within self shall set us free. Wheel of Fortune is in the upright. There's positive things coming through, my lovers, right? I've really got to go. I've got a session starting in 5 minutes. Thank you guys for being my internet friends. Thanks for subscribing to Ultra Love TV. And if you want to go to my website, you can get my monthly newsletters. I'm crafting it now. I've just been working on my my store, my Ultra Love Tmall store, where you can buy some like merchandise and love stuff, stickers. There's a rainbow love water bottle, all this stuff. And of course, you can go to my website and book a reading, or you can email me about doing yoga. I am coming to the point after all these many years of doing internet broadcasting. I with love, respect, compassion, don't deal with trolls. So if there's messages and etc. of hatred and just wretched sort of abusive stuff, I don't tolerate that. So it will just simply be deleted. And knowing that to each their own, right? Like everyone is on their own journey, and I respect that. But I'm not, especially who knows? Is it bots? What, I don't know what any of that is. But hey ho! All right, have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here.